Welcome to the Chop Seat, where Braves country meets the big leagues. Your host Vic is here to break down everything from truest part to the top of the standings across the league. From walk-offs to wild trades, this is your seat for everything baseball, but a heavy dose of chop. So grab your glove and settle in, because the Chop Seat is open.
Welcome to the Chop Seat, your favorite place for Braves, baseball, and the rest of the league. I'm your host, Vic, and today is Friday, September 5th. We got some catching up to do, as we always do. You know, we got a 2-3 day gap between episodes, so we definitely got some catching up to do. We're going to talk about the previous Braves series. It was another Braves series loss, another one in the books, but we got some positives. We do have some positives between all that darkness that we had, especially with this last series that just passed. So we're going to talk about those positives. There's some drama around the league. Couple series that has some drama. We're going to talk about that. That's always fun to get into. And then we're going to talk about the upcoming Braves series that's going to start tonight at 7:15 p.m. Eastern time. It might be 7:10. Who knows? But it's a 5-minute difference. If you're at the ball game, make sure you're there at 7:10 just in case 7:10 is the first pitch. But anyways, let's get into our first segment so we can talk about all that good stuff.
It's time for Tomahawk Takes.
It's time for Tomahawk Takes, where we take a look at the previous Braves series. And Tomahawk Takes is brought to you by our friends at SeatGeek. Use code CHOPSEAT20 to save yourself $20 off your first purchase on SeatGeek. Go to a concert, go to a show, go to a sporting event. Anywhere you can go to buy tickets, anywhere that requires you to buy tickets, go to SeatGeek. Look for the event right there. Add whatever seats you want to your cart. Add whatever seats you want to your cart. At the end, where it says promo code, add CHOPSEAT20, and that's going to save you $20 off your first purchase. So make sure you do that and use those $20 on something nice. Get yourself something nice. You deserve it. So we're going to talk about the previous Braves series. That was a series against the Chicago Cubs out in Wrigley Field, the friendly confines, the Windy City. We spoke about it the last episode, the first game. That was on Monday. We got into specifics a little bit. We're just going to touch on it real quick. It was a Cubs win. Cubs win 7-6. Braves had a decent lead in this one. I think they were up like 6-2, and then Cubs started scoring. They rallied back. They were able to get themselves out of that hole that they were in, and they were able to put 7 up on the board. They won that one 7-6. That was on Monday's game 1 of the series. But then we got to talk about game 2 and game 3 of the 3-game set. Game 2 was on Tuesday night. It was Joey Wentz going up for the Braves. He goes 4 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, all those earned. 1 walk, 8 Ks for the guy. He ends up taking the L. Unfortunately, he's now 5-5 with a 5.12 ERA. For the Cubs on the mound, it was Shota Imanaga. He goes 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, all those earned. 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. That's a quality start when I see one. He gets the win in this one. He now has a 9-6 record with a 3.15 ERA. The Cubs win this one 4-3. This is the Cubs' 80th win of the season. Congrats to them for getting to that milestone. And this is how the game went. Bottom of the third, the Cubs, they put up 4, including a Kyle Tucker 3-run homer. Top of the 4th, Braves start answering back a little bit. Matt Olson, he hits a triple. Ozzie Albies, he hits a homer with Olson on third. 2-run homer. That's 4-2. Cubs, top of the 5th, Eli White. He shows some pop. He hits homer number 8 of the season for him. That makes it 4-3. Cubs, but that's it. Braves can't do nothing else. Cubs get the W in this one. This was Ha-Seong Kim's first game for the Braves. I believe he picked up a hit in this one. But the second game, second we're going to talk about, but the third game of the set, he had a big hit, and you'll see why. Game 3 of the series, that was on Wednesday night. Braves end up winning this one 5-1. On the mound for the Braves, Bryce Elder, he might have found something, guys. He might have found something because his last, 3-4 starts now? He's been pretty solid. He goes 7 innings in this one. 4 hits, just 1 run that was not earned. No walks, 6 strikeouts. He brings his ERA down 5.54. ERA. You think he's going to bring it down below 5 before the end of the season? We're going to have to wait and see. But it seems like he's figured something out, man. If he has, hey, good for him. He was going up against Cade Horton, the rookie. He might be, this kid might be the leading candidate for the Rookie of the Year now. He said, step aside Drake Baldwin, and we actually got to see the matchup between the two top National League Rookie of the Year contenders. But I think Horton definitely, he took the number 1 spot for now. He goes 5 no-hit innings, 5 no-hit innings in this one. One walk, 6 strikeouts. He now has a 2.78 ERA. Drake Baldwin against him hit 2 sharp lineouts, no hits to add to the box score against Cade Horton. But listen, this is how the game went down. The Cubs, they take an early lead in the bottom of the second. It was 1-0 Cubs, and that was it until the 7th inning. Top of the 7th, Ozzie Albies, he singles. Ozuna, he walks. They got the 2 outs in the inning. Ha-Seong Kim, he comes up with 2 on and 2 outs. He smokes one to left field off of Drew Pomeranz. How do you pronounce it? Such a confusing last name. Drew Pomeranz. He smokes it, though. Ha-Seong Kim, he smokes it out to left field. 3-1 Braves. That gives the Braves the lead. That's their first homer out of the shortstop spot for the Braves all season long. Happens in game number 140. That's insane to say. First homer out of the shortstop spot comes in game number 140 of the season. Only 2 games played for Ha-Seong Kim. That's all it takes him to go a yard and add a 1 in that shortstop homer spot for the Atlanta Braves. And listen, no knock on Nick Allen. Nick Allen was nice with the glove, man. He was nice with the glove. But like I said in the previous episode, we got to get somebody that can hit, man. We got to cut this out because everyone is not going to be clicking at the same time. We already saw that 2023 was just a one-hit wonder. I said it last episode. You don't get that all the time. It was literally a historical season. That's not going to happen. But listen, Ha-Seong Kim was a positive in this series loss. He was a positive in this series loss. So that made it 3-1. The Braves score another one in the inning. It was a Nacho Alvarez RBI single. That made it 4-1. And then Ozzie, he hits a homer in the top of the 8th. That's homer number 15 of the season for him. He's starting to show some more power, which is really, really good to see. Braves pick up an insurance on 5-1. Rafael Iglesias. That's actually Rafael Iglesias, your reliever of the month. He is able to come in. It was not a save opportunity, but he's able to come in and get the final outs of the game. He gets the reliever of the month award, as I said. In August, he goes 13 innings pitched, 13 strikeouts, 10 saves, and he ended the month with a 0.69 ERA. So talk about getting your game back. We were ready to send him off during the trade deadline. But listen, if he's back, then Anthopoulos, phenomenal job. If you're not seeing, you're just listening. I just did a little salute to Anthopoulos. If you're not watching the YouTube version of this podcast episode, listen, that's why Anthopoulos gets paid the big bucks. He probably had a feeling this guy's going to turn it around. August is usually his best month. Maybe that's what Anthopoulos was thinking. He just needs a little bit more time to find his sweet spot. And that's what he's done, honestly. The second half, he's turned it around. So, I mean, if he's pitching like this, I wouldn't mind seeing Iglesias come back. But the way he was pitching in the first half, bro, that was atrocious. Too many blown saves. A lot of games that we should have won. And our record definitely would have been different if things were, things were rolling when it came to Iglesias at the back end of that bullpen. But anyways, congrats to him. He gets a reliever of the month. And I'm glad he's been able to turn things around for his sake, for our sake, man, because we've been going through it. But again, the positive in this ball game, Ha-Seong Kim hits the first homer out of the shortstop spot for the Atlanta Braves. It comes in game number 140 of the season. Yes, that's crazy to say, but it's better late than never. And hopefully, we're able to get some more good games from Ha-Seong Kim and get a little preview of how things will be next year, and maybe another one after that. If he's able to, if he exercises that player option, I'm assuming he is going to exercise that option and stay with the Braves. $16 million. He it's in his benefit to take that option now. I'm pretty sure if he does exercise that option, I'm pretty sure Anthopoulos is going to go in there, negotiate something to have him locked up for another year or maybe two until someone else pops up in the organization to take over the shortstop spot. But I mean, listen, if this guy can hit like this, how he's usually hit, how he hit when he was in San Diego, then this pickup is looking good. It's looking good. I'm excited to see if he can stay healthy and stay with us for 2026 and maybe 27, and see how this lineup looks with him there full time at shortstop and the rest of the guys being in the lineup and being healthy. So that's a positive. That's Tomahawk Takes. And now we're going to get into the MLB, man. MLB is going to get real crazy. A lot of drama, like I said. It's going to be a lot of drama to talk about. Let's get into it.
It's time for the MLB.
It's time for the MLB, where we take a look at the action from around the league. And listen, we spoke about the games on Monday. The games that went down on Monday, we did talk about those ball games. So this is how we're going to do it. We're going to look at the series. We're not going to get into too many specifics when it comes to the Monday games because I already went through those. But we're still going to look at the score. So we're going to start out with the first series. Miami Marlins at the Washington Nationals. The Nationals, remember, they took game 1, 2-0. That was on Monday. They take game 2, 5-2, the final score on that one. And then Wednesday, they win the final game. They bring out the brooms against the Marlins. They sweep them. That's a 10-5 victory for them. They sweep them out of town. Next, we go to the New York Mets and the Detroit Tigers. Remember, I told you guys keep an eye on this one. Potential World Series matchup, depending on who you got there. The Mets, remember, they won game 1, 10-8. It was a big game by Juan Soto. Game number 2 on Tuesday. Juan Soto, again, he hits homer number 37 of the season. He also steals base number 27 of the season for him. He might have a 40-30 season, guys. I'm pretty sure he is going to finish with that. He's still got a good amount of weeks left. Pete Alonso, he had a 2-homer game in this one. He hits number 32 and 33 of the season. And then the Tigers, they were able to win game 3 of the set to avoid the sweep. They won that one 6-2. Now let's move on to the next series. Toronto Blue Jays at the Cincinnati Reds. Remember, the Reds won game 1, 5-4 in walk-off fashion. Then Tuesday's game 2, the Blue Jays are able to bounce back. They win game 2, 12-9. And then Wednesday's game, the Reds, they put up 9 again. The problem is the Blue Jays, they're able to put 13 on the scoreboard. They win the series 2 games out of 3. Then we go to Cleveland at the Boston Red Sox. Remember, the Red Sox won game 1, 6-4. That was that game where they had the weird homer off the pesky pole, Trevor Story. Game number 2 of the set, Gary Crochet, he's tagged for 7 runs, 4 homers allowed, 7 runs total. That's tough. That's tough to see with the Red Sox. They got some fight in them. Alex Bregman and the Red Sox, they scored 4 in the bottom of the 8th to take the lead, and they end up winning the ball game 11-7. And then in Wednesday's game, it was an 8-1 victory for the Guardians to avoid the sweep of the Red Sox. Again, they win 2 out of 3 in this one. Remember, Roman Anthony, he's out with an oblique strain. They gave him a 4 to 6 week timetable to return. That might be second round of the playoffs. So the Red Sox are still in it. You're going to be getting Roman Anthony back around that time. Next, we got this Chicago White Sox at the Minnesota Twins. The White Sox, they get the 4-game sweep. That's their first 4-game sweep that they attained since May of 2021. It's been a minute, but congratulations to the White Sox. They're able to get the 4-game sweep on the road. Then we go to the Athletics at the St. Louis Cardinals. Remember, the Athletics won game 1, 11-3. Cardinals, though, they bounced back. They win the second game 2-1, and they win the final game, the rubber matchup, 5-1 to win the series. Next, we go to the San Francisco Giants at the Colorado Rockies. The Giants, they win game 1, 8-2. They also win game 2. This is where the drama starts. Devers, he hits Homer number 30 of the season. Kyle Freeland, he wasn't happy with it. The bench is clear. Matt Chapman comes and gives him a shove, gives Kyle Freeland a shove. He gets a 1-game suspension. Excuse me. Willie Adames, he gets ejected. Chapman gets ejected. Freeland gets ejected. But my thing is, listen, man, I'm tired of seeing this already. If you gave up a homer, bro, that's it. You gave up the homer. Whoever hit it off of you, they could do whatever the heck they want. They could do cartwheels if they wanted to. They could do cartwheels. They could do a handstand around the diamond. You gave up the bomb, bro. Take the L. If you don't want him to do that, get him out in the next at-bat. You should have got him out that at-bat. That's what you're trying to do, right? You can't get mad if dudes take you yard and they want to take their sweet time around the bases. They deserve that, bro. They earned that. They definitely earned it. And then if you got a problem with it, you beat them the next at-bat. Just beat them. But don't get mad because he's taking the sweet time around the bases, bro. He earned that, bro. He earned that. I don't want to hear this thing anymore. It's 2025, bro. The unwritten rule thing or whatever is over with that, bro. If you're mad, just beam him, bro. And then if you get kicked out the game, you get kicked out the game. You got kicked out the game anyways, and you didn't even do nothing. So what's the point? Now you put in your team in a bad spot. You got out in the first inning. You get what I'm saying? At least you would have stayed with a. You would have held your composure. You would have kept your mouth shut. Go for him. And when Devers comes back up, you beam him. And then if you got ejected there, you got ejected. But at least you gave your team a few more innings. That's not what happened here. But anyways, what are your thoughts on this topic? If somebody takes a pitcher yard, does the pitcher have the right to get upset if they take their sweet time going around the bases? Yes or no? Because I feel like if you hit a homer, bro, you could pimp the homer, bro. You deserve it. You earned it. You just went yard. You hit a bomb. Now, if the pitcher doesn't want to see you do that, then he has to get you out the next at bat. He has to get you out. Should have got you out that AB. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Anyways, the Giants win that one 7-4, as I just mentioned, and then they win the final game. Matt Chapman, he has a 2-home run night. He homers, not him, but the Giants homer in 17 straight games. That completes a sweep, 10-8 victory for the San Francisco Giants. Then we go to the Philadelphia Phillies at the Milwaukee Brewers. I told you guys keep an eye on this one. Phillies won game 1, 10-8. They were off on Tuesday. A weird little day off there during the week. Brewers, they come back and win game 2, 6-3 final score. And then we have the rubber match of Rangers Suarez. He goes 6 scoreless innings. He picks up win number 11 because the Phillies are able to win this one 2-0. They win the key series against a potential playoff opponent. Next, we go to the Baltimore Orioles at the San Diego Padres. The Orioles, they bring out the brooms on the road. They sweep the Padres. Padres, what is going on, bro? Picked you guys to go all the way. What is going on? You're making me look bad right now, man. I'm starting to get a little nervous because I'm thinking you guys are going to be a powerhouse. I know excuse me. It's not that bad. I'm starting to panic a little bit. I'm not even a Padres fan. But you definitely got to turn it around. You can't be getting swept by the Orioles this late in the game. If it was early in the season, it's fine. But now, to get swept now in the last month of the regular season, you can't let that happen. Hauser, Mayo, Alex Jackson, they go back to back in the final game of the 3-game set. The Orioles win that one 7-5. That completes the sweep. Next, this one makes the wild card picture get a little bit more interesting. And when I talk about the wild card, I mean the American League wild card. The Seattle Mariners at the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays, they won game 1 10-2. In game 2, Big Thumper, he hits homer number 51 of the season. But Junior Caminero, he hits number 40 of the season for him. And the Rays are able to get the win in this one, 6-5 victory there. And then the final game of the 3-game set, the Rays are able to win that one as well and bring out the brooms at home. They win that one 9-4. That gives the Mariners 14 losses in their last 20 games. Again, you can't be getting swept this late in the ball game, man. You can't be getting swept this late in the season. Tampa Bay sweeps. They put themselves in a better spot when it comes to the wild card chase. You're going to see why when we get into the standings shortly. A few more series here, guys. Hold on. We're almost there. Texas Rangers at the Arizona Diamondbacks. Texas Rangers, remember, they won game 1 7-5. Ketel Marte, though, in Game 2, he hits a go-ahead 3-run homer. That helps the Diamondbacks get the 5-3 win. And then in Game 3, shutout victory for the Diamondbacks, 2-0 win. The Diamondbacks pick up the series, 2 games, 1 in that one. The Los Angeles Dodgers at the Pittsburgh Pirates. Ohtani in Game 1 of this 3-game set, he hits homer number 100 as a Dodger, number 46 of the season for him. But that's not enough because the Pittsburgh Pirates, they win this one 9-7 in Game 2. Shohei Ohtani was scheduled to start, but he was scratched. He was feeling under the weather. He stayed in to hit. He's going to pitch against the Orioles this weekend, I believe. But Pittsburgh, shutout victory for them here, 3-0. And then Pittsburgh brings out the brooms at home. They bring the brooms out. That was their first sweep of the Dodgers in Pittsburgh since August 2015. So they bring out the brooms, and that helps out the Dodgers. That helps out the Padres. That helps out the Padres because, Padres are right behind the Dodgers, and they had a rough series there against the Baltimore Orioles. So things stay pat when it comes to the National League West Division, at least the top of it, at least. And then next is the other series. We had some drama. The New York Yankees at the Houston Astros. Of course, you got these two teams. Of course, there's going to be drama. Game 1, that was on Tuesday night on TBS. It was a 7-1 victory for the New York Yankees. It was a 2-homer night for Jazz Chisholm. He's been hot. 28 of the season. Trent Grisham, he hits a grand slam. Number 29 of the season for him. Max Fried, he goes 1 run over 7 innings. He picks up win number 15 of the season for him. But this is where the drama started. That grand slam that I mentioned by Trent Grisham. Framber Valdez, I believe it was a 1-0 count. Rookie catcher Cesar Gonzalez, he's telling him to, just step off the rubber for a little bit. Valdez, he decides to keep pitching. He throws a meatball right down the pipe. Trent Grisham, grand salami. He sends that one out. Next pitch. I guess Framber, he was plotting on his boy, man. He was plotting on his boy. Heavy, bro. Cesar Gonzalez, he gets crossed up. He takes one right in the chest, bro. Right in the chest. He gets beamed. He gets up. He's just looking like, bro, like, really? Framber Valdez, as soon as his catcher gets hit, he just turns around. He doesn't care. He did it intentionally, bro. I believe he did it intentionally. Because if it was an innocent cross-up, he would have been like, yo, my bad, like, you good? And maybe they would have had a discussion on the mound real quick, like, talk about the signs or whatever he's hearing on the pitch comm or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? But nah, he didn't care. He just turned around like nothing happened. He knew what he was doing. He was plotting. My problem with that is this. When you're getting interviewed post-game, you did it on purpose, bro. Stand by it, bro. Be like, yeah, I was pissed off. And I crossed him up on purpose, bro. And that's it. Just say that. Don't be saying, I didn't mean to do it. No. Come on, bro. You know what you was doing. You beamed your boy, man. You beamed your boy. Shout out to Cesar Gonzalez. He played it cool, bro. He played it cool. I feel like anyone else, and he probably don't want to get into any trouble. He's a rookie, you know what I'm saying? He knows he has to, unfortunately, it is what it is. It's like that in any profession, really. If you're a rookie, you sometimes you gotta eat it at certain times. You don't want to make things hot because you don't know how long you're gonna last there if you make things hot, and it happens with different occupations. So I understand. He kept us cool. But anyways, Framber, no haga eso, loco. Don't do that, bro. Eso no se hace, bro. Es pana tuyo. Don't do that, man. That's your boy. Anyways, Yankees win that one. Game 2 of the set. It was an 8-7 victory for the Astros. It was a crazy game. The Yanks, they try to come back in the final innings. Belly, he had a 3-run homer. That made it 8-7, but that was not enough. That was the final score. And then game number 3, yesterday's game, it was an 8-4 victory for the Yankees. Grisham with a big 3-run homer. That's number 30 of the season for him. Carlos Rodon, he gets win number 16 of the season. That's my fantasy starter, baby. That's my fantasy starter, man. He's been cooking all year. Good to see him get that W in this one. So the Yankees win 2 out of 3 in the series. But Taylor Trammell's bat was confiscated. Apparently, it had too many. What's it called? The paint had some chip paint on the barrel. That was what was in question. So they took his bat. They took his bat, confiscated. He wasn't too happy, but anyways, they said that it didn't give him any sort of advantage. So technically, he wasn't cheating. It was just like a color thing or whatnot. So that's what they said. I don't know. I just go by what they say. Just go by what they say. You know, the majors. You know, MLB loves the Astros though. All they do is give them slaps on the wrist. So who knows? Who knows? But you got to believe what they say, right? And in the final series, it's the LA Angels at the Kansas City Royals. Royals still trying to stay in the playoff hunt. Angels win game 1, 5-1. They win game 2 as well, 4-3. But then the Royals come back. A big Bobby Witt Jr. go-ahead solo homer in the bottom of the 8th. That's number 21 of the season for him. That helps the Royals win that one 20. I was going to say 21-1. That helps them win 4-3. But the Angels still get the series win in this one. Now, let's look at the games that are starting tonight. These are the series that will be starting tonight. Actually, we had one that started yesterday, a fresh one. That's my bad. That was the Cleveland Guardians at the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays are able to win that one 4-2, so they stay hot. And we're going to see why when we get to the standings. But these are the series that are starting. We got the Washington Nationals at the Chicago Cubs. I believe that one started already. You know, Chicago loves playing them early games out there in the friendly confines. Let's see if that one's already wrapped up before we head on to the next one, so you have an idea of who won game 1. Looks like it's already wrapped up. The Cubs, big win for them, 11-5 victory there. 8.5. He hits his 20th homer of the season. Luis Garcia Jr. had a 2-run homer for the Nationals. That's number 12 of the season for him. Nico Horner with a homer as well. Pretty sure more homers in that ball game. So that's that one. Big series we got starting tonight. Your New York Mets at your Cincinnati Reds. Wild card implications in that one. Can the Reds draw a little bit closer to the Mets, or are the Mets going to put them away once and for all and end their hopes of being in the wild card race? Then we got the Chicago White Sox at the Detroit Tigers. Milwaukee Brewers at the Pittsburgh Pirates. Los Angeles Dodgers at the Baltimore Orioles. The Toronto Blue Jays at the New York Yankees. This is going to be another big one. I believe the Blue Jays have a 2.5 game lead on the Yankees. We're going to have to check that in the standings just shortly. But this is a big series for the Yankees. Remember, the Blue Jays have been beating them up all year. So this is a big chance for the Yankees to turn things around against the AL East leading Blue Jays. We'll see if they're able to make that happen. Next, we have the Philadelphia Phillies at the Miami Marlins. Seattle Mariners at the Atlanta Braves. We'll be talking about that shortly in the Braves forecast. We already mentioned the Cleveland Guardians at the Tampa Bay Rays. Minnesota Twins at the Kansas City Royals. You got the Houston Astros at the Texas Rangers. Rangers trying to stay in that AL wildcard hunt. We'll see how they're able to fare against the AL West leading Houston Astros. Another big one. 2 wildcard teams as well. The San Francisco Giants at the St. Louis Cardinals. We'll see if they're able to battle things out there. See one team. Is it gonna be one-sided or not? We'll see if a team is able to sweep and put the other team away. You got the San Diego Padres at the Colorado Rockies, the Athletics at the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the Boston Red Sox at the Arizona Diamondbacks for headlines. All I saw earlier, this was a big blockbuster news, bro. Kodai Senga, the Mets, they optioned him to AAA, and some Yankee fans are still wondering, why is Volpe still in the majors and not being sent down to AAA? Big difference in both ball clubs. I know the Yankees fan base not too happy seeing Volpe still in the majors, but listen, that's your ball club. You got to worry about your ball club, man. That's all I could tell you. But the Mets being aggressive, they got the young arms coming up. They're being aggressive, sending Kodai Senga down. Hopefully have him work on a few things. And then, he'll be back. He'll be back for come playoff time, hopefully. And he's able to be a big difference after he works out a few things down there. But that's what I have for headlines, man. That's all I have for headlines. Let's look at the standings real quick so we can wrap up the MLB segment. And let's see here at the standings. We're going to start off with the National League East. You got the Philadelphia Phillies in first place, 81-59. New York Mets, 6 games back. They're 75-65. Miami Marlins, 65-75. Atlanta Braves, 63-77. Washington Nationals, 56-84. National League Central, Milwaukee Brewers, 86-55. They got a 5-game lead over the Chicago Cubs, who are 81-60. Cincinnati Reds, 70-70. Cardinals, 70-71. Pittsburgh Pirates, 64-77. National League West, you got the Dodgers in first, 78-62. They've lost 3 in a row. You got the Padres, 76-64. They've lost 4 in a row. They're 2 games back. You got the Giants, 71-69. They're 7 games back, but they won 4 in a row. Diamondbacks, 70-71, 8.5 back. And then you got the Colorado Rockies, who have hit the milestone of 100 losses. They're now 39-101. American League East. Here we go. Toronto Blue Jays, 81-59. Oh, you see, I said 2.5 games back earlier, but the Yankees are actually 3 games back. They're 78-62. The Red Sox, 78-63, 3.5 back. The Rays, 71-69. 10 games back, but they're the hottest team in baseball, baby. 7 wins in a row for them. And then you got the Baltimore Orioles, 64-76. Next, we go to the Detroit Tigers. They're 81-60. They're in first place by 9.5 games over the Kansas City Royals, 71-69. Cleveland, 69-70. Minnesota Twins, 62-78. And the Chicago White Sox, 53-88. Last but not least, American League West. The Houston Astros, 77-64. They have a 3.5 game lead over the Seattle Mariners, who are 73-67. Texas Rangers, 72-69. They're 5 games back. The Angels, 66-74. Athletics, 64-77. So let's look at the playoff picture right now. We're going to look at the wild card standings. Milwaukee Brewers, they got the 1 seed. Philly has the 2 seed. Dodgers, they have the 3 seed. So as of right now, it'll be the Brewers and Phillies having the first round bye. Then we got the Chicago Cubs having the first wild card spot. San Diego Padres the second. The New York Mets, they're holding on to the final spot, but they have a nice little lead, a 4-game lead over the San Francisco Giants, who jumped over the Cincinnati Reds, who are 5 games back. And remember, the Reds will be playing the Mets. They're able to sweep the Mets. They'll be only 2 games back if they're able to sweep them. I don't think they will, but if they get swept, they'll be 8 games back. That probably puts them away. So the Mets have a chance to put one of the teams chasing them away for the playoff hunt. But anyways, we got the Reds again, like I said, 5 games back. The Diamondbacks, 5.5. They creeping up a little bit. And then you got the St. Louis Cardinals, 5.5 as well. They're trying to stay in the fight. American League, we got the Toronto Blue Jays and the Detroit Tigers getting the first round bye as of right now. Houston Astros got the other division winner. Then you got the Yankees with the first spot. Boston Red Sox, second spot. Seattle Mariners holding on to that final spot. 1.5 games over the Texas Rangers, who are right behind them. Kansas City is 2 games back. Tampa Bay, who's won 7 games in a row, they're now serious contenders in the playoff picture. They're 2 games back as well. Cleveland Guardians, they still have a chance. They haven't been playing good, consistent baseball, but they're still there. 3.5 games back only. And you listen, I said last time, if you're 8 games or under, I'm going to mention you. So I got to give the Angels a little mention. 66-74. They're 7 games back. As the weeks go on, that number drops. That 8-game back number drops. Maybe by next week it's going to be maybe at 7 or 6 games back. If you don't meet the criteria, I won't be giving you a shout out. But that is how these standings are looking. I'm telling you, things are going to get spicy, man. Especially that American League wild card race. I thought the National League one was a little crazy, but right now it's not that crazy. It's not that crazy. Maybe by the end of next week it is, but that American League wild card is different. It's different right now. There's a lot of teams that have chances still. So you got to definitely keep an eye on those teams and how they do over the weekend. And that's certainly what we'll do, because that's what we do on the Chop Seat on the ML Beat. So we're going to wrap up this ML Beat. We're going to wrap up this techno song. And now we're going to head into our next and final segment.
It's time for your Braves forecast.
It's time for the Braves forecast, where we take a look at the upcoming Braves series, and that's going to be a series against the Seattle Mariners. The Mariners are coming into town to face our Atlanta Braves. Again, they're 73-67. The Braves are 63-77. And I saw some news that Ronald Acuna Jr., he's going to be out the lineup for game one. Nothing's going on. He's just getting extra rest. So don't worry. No need to worry. He is fine. Again, just getting an extra day's rest. And before we get into the probable starters, forgot to mention this. Rolly Nunez, great debut for the kid. Also, Hayden Harris had a great debut for the Cubs. They both debuted on the same game, the same night, so that was cool to see. They both did phenomenal. So hopefully they're able to get some more work out there and see if they could potentially fit on that 2026 Braves pitching staff, and hopefully they can. I like what I saw from Rolly Nunez, man. That guy's, I don't know if it's a two-seam or a sinker or what it is. That thing moves crazy, bro. He's throwing like 97, 98. That thing has some crazy movement on it, so I'll be excited to see him continue to pitch well, and like I said, maybe grab one of them spots, man. That's the one thing. That's the one positive of being so bad this early. Well, now it's late, but this is the one positive of being this bad in the season, that you're able to have guys, you're able to give them some more playing time, especially guys that are not on the major league roster. You're able to bring them out, let them get some work in, get some experience, and see how they're able to fare against their opponents. See if they're able to be good candidates to have for the roster next year. But anyways, let's look at the probables. Game one is going to be tonight, 7:15 p.m. Eastern time. Logan Gilbert will be on the mound for the Mariners. He's 4-6 with a 3.73 ERA. Chris Sale will be on the mound for the Braves, making his second start since returning from his rib injury. He's 5-4 with a 2.45 ERA. Game two tomorrow night, Saturday, 7:15 p.m. start time as well. Bryce Miller will be on the mound for the Mariners. He's 4-5 with a 5.71 ERA. Hurston Waldrop, he's 4-0 with a 1.01 ERA. I keep mentioning every episode. Lock my boy up. The 2026 Braves rotation. I don't want to hear it. And then game three is going to be an early bird special, 12:05 p.m. Eastern time. Luis Castillo, he's going to be on the mound for the Mariners. 8-8 with a 3.94 ERA. Going up against Spencer Strider, who's 5-12 with a 4.97 ERA. Jurickson Profar, he's been activated back from the paternity list. He will be back on the roster. Let's see who's going for Acuna today. Is it going to be Jake Fraley? Or is it going to be Eli White? Let's take a look if the lineup is out already. Let's just see if we're able to keep an eye on this real quick. It's going to be, excuse me for that. It is going to be, yes, it is Jake Fraley indeed, starting for Ronald Acuna Jr. So I like Fraley, man. I like Jake Fraley. I think he's going to be, if you have, I feel like if you have Jake Fraley and Eli White on your bench, that's not bad. I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay with our outfield going forward. Profar, Michael Harris, Ronald Acuna Jr., Jake Fraley coming off the bench, Eli White coming off the bench. He has some speed. I don't mind that. He can also play infield. Shortstop, you got Ha-Seong Kim. I'm down with Ha-Seong Kim. You guys know that. Third base, Austin Riley. If he should be healthy. He should be back next year, full strength. I'm okay with that. Catcher, I'm okay with Drake Baldwin. Sean Murphy, I mean, I think you can trade him now. I think Drake Baldwin he's definitely the catcher of the future. I think he's shown that he's able to handle catcher full time. Sean Murphy, he has some pop. I'm pretty sure he's great behind the plate and all that, communicating with pitchers and stuff. But this guy, he strikes out a lot, bro. And he's hitting like 200 right now. he might be under the Mendoza line soon. So that's not my kind of player, bro. I think if you're able to trade him and get something real good in return, maybe add a pitching prospect somewhat and get something like maybe I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know who to get. Matt Olson, that's a lock. The thing is Ozzy, bro. I love Ozzy, but is he staying after next year? Are you able to upgrade in that in that position? Are you able to upgrade second base? You might be able to. You might be able to, but again, Ozzy, I love Ozzy. Everyone loves Ozzy. He does a lot of a lot of things that you don't see in that stat sheet, which you can't measure. So that's going to be a tough decision. That's going to be a tough decision. I know he has a $7, not $7, I have a $7 option at my job. He has a $7 million option. I think it's a $4 million buyout for the Braves. So they might as well just do the $7 million, have him play second. But after that, after next year, I don't know, man. I don't know if they're gonna keep him. I really don't know. I mean, I guess we'll talk about that when the time gets closer. I don't know why I'm going down this whole roster rant right now. Let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up now. That's all I got for the Braves forecast. I don't have any key highlights, any key notes, any things to stay tuned. The only thing I could say is stay on the lookout for is that the Mariners starters are not good on the road. That's one thing that a lot of people around the sport have pointed out. They are not good on the road. They are very dominant at home, but on the road is a different story. So let's see if that trend can continue. And the Braves offense could put some work in against the Mariners pitching staff. So that's all I have for the Braves forecast. That's all I have for this episode. Thank you guys for continuing to tune in. Highly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. If you can continue to share the show, send it everywhere, man. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, what else? Amazon, wherever you could catch your iHeartRadio, wherever you could catch a podcast, the Chop Seat is there. Make sure you send that link to your friends. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at the Chop Seat Pod, X, Twitter, Facebook, what else? TikTok, YouTube at the Chop Seat. Those are all the socials. We got the links on the description, so make sure you follow that. And listen, I hope your team does well over the weekend. I hope your team is in a good spot once everything is said and done. We talk again next time, most likely on Monday. So stay tuned. Make sure you keep up following your team. Make sure you keep on following those games. Keep an eye on the standings, bro. Them standings, what I just said about the standings, there might be a few flip-flops when it comes Monday. So anyways, stay safe, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We will catch you next time on the Chop Seat.